It's at noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
This hour brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road, and at washmethod.com. VIP checks will win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method. Coming at you live for the Boston Pizza Studio for Boston Pizza and Gourmet Pizza and Pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim Toth, how are you this fine Thursday where spring is starting to feel like it's actually on its way?
Well, speaking of Wash Method, now's the time, right? For all.
Yeah,
on my Instagram, I put out last night social about the Wash Method, and I literally said, for those of you who got your cars all detailed, and perhaps took off your winter tires, this is your fault. You're to blame.
Yeah.
However, Wash Method can help you.
It's there to help.
So now that the snow is gone, going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
Go to our friends at Wash Method. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm interested by this game. I'm interested by the scenario they're in. I watched the Oilers beat the San Jose Sharks quite handily last night, which was interesting because the Oilers aren't very good right now. They don't have Draisaitl. They don't have. I don't think Hyman's playing. I can't remember if I saw him. No, and I give them credit. Like the Sharks to be in this. I'm sorry for all Sharks fans and Celebrini fans.
All those ones listening right now.
All those massive Sharks fans that tune into Jets at noon.
All one half of you.
I wonder if there's any Sharks fans here.
Text the show, 204-780-68. Full line, text line is open, by the way. Get your thoughts in on the game.
But they should not, credit to them, 37 wins, 81 points. They should not be in and around this with the roster they have.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's say.
Good for them.
Let's say Macklin Celebrini gets 3/4 of the points that he's picked up this year. And I got some Macklin Celebrini stats I pulled up. We'll get to them before the show's out here. But that would be and that would still be a great season for him in his sophomore year. He is the reason why they're even anywhere close to in and around it at this moment.
Well, to our discussion yesterday, Cam, he has 108 points, and the Sharks have 236 goals.
Yeah. So like 48%, 47%.
He's in on 108. Nearly half of all the goals they've scored, he's in on. Almost half. So I'm fascinated because St. Louis is 2 points behind the Jets. They lost to Colorado on Monday. The Jets have to keep pushing. They are 4 points back of Nashville now with a game in hand. Nashville has a legitimate playoff roster, in my opinion. So do the Jets. And then the Kings I don't know what to make of the Kings, but they'll go to overtime 4 more times. Yada, 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 and make the playoffs. So it's interesting, right? Because they do need help now. But, St. Louis is a team you should beat. The rivalry comes into this and how tough San Jose plays you. Robert Thomas and the likes, but you've got to win this game tonight.
Well, and the thing is, too, and Kelly Moore pointed this out yesterday when he was at practice, the visiting team has lost 11 in a row, including playoffs and regular season between these two. And they have a rivalry right now. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, they get up for it. Like, this isn't your normal, even divisional game because of the playoffs last year and the hatred that's there. This is the proverbial whatever the playoff picture is. We want to win this game. We don't like losing to these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
For both teams.
So games to watch beyond that. I mean, you mentioned LA, you mentioned Nashville, you mentioned San Jose. San Jose is in action again tonight in Anaheim. The Canucks are at Los Angeles playing the Kings, and Nashville is in Utah. So when I presented this earlier in the week, the easiest scenario for the Jets, and I will repeat myself here because I'm just trying to drive a point home, is that the easiest path for the Winnipeg Jets to get into the postseason, which is slim, I keep repeating that, and Money Puck, I think, had them at 6.9%. I think they went up 0.5% after San Jose lost last night. But is if the Jets win out. So they got to win tonight. The other way, too, is the help that they need to receive by them winning out is Nashville needs to lose twice in regulation, LA needs to lose twice in regulation, and San Jose has to lose twice in regulation. San Jose lost once in regulation. Nashville hasn't yet. The Kings haven't yet. I think Nashville's got 4 games left, and the Kings have 4 games left too. So
Nashville has 4 games left, including tonight. The Jets have 5.
Yeah.
But the real problem is Vancouver's on the table for Los Angeles twice, right?
Yeah.
Now, Vancouver's been – here's the thing about this situation. Calgary pushed Dallas to overtime. Calgary.
I think there's a little bit of
Vancouver went into Colorado and pumped them for 8 goals. They're fighting, right? Like, to them, they have nothing to lose. This is fun. Let's go play spoiler. It's not the best scenario you want to be in, but if you're a young team with a bunch of young guys and veterans, they're like, let's go do this. Let's shock the world.
Do you
tonight.
think that there's a little bit of some unconscious things going on when you go into play Vancouver? Because you're like, oh, these guys stink. Like we can step back. I mean, they'd never admit that or even go into that game believing, but there's always something in the back of the mind.
Yeah, I mean, the Vancouver win over Colorado was a lot of Mackenzie Blackwood giving up 6 goals. He's getting the start tonight against Calgary, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot plays into that. When you're free and loose and out of the playoffs, there's no bigger thing than to let's surprise them, let's disappoint them and do it. And you as a good team have to find a way. But I mean, they have to win tonight. Cam, I honestly, I think like the Flyers are no joke. The Flyers are going to be a tough out on Saturday. But that doesn't matter tonight. You have to win this game in St. Louis or at least get 2 points. I mean, it's not optimal because St. Louis is 2 points behind you.
Yeah.
But get the 2 points in overtime or shootout, whatever you do, and keep looking forward. So get the 2 points. Philadelphia is not the free space on the bingo card. That's going to be tough. But you need to win those 2 games because you have Vegas on Monday and Utah on Tuesday on the road.
You got to win them.
You're going to play Philadelphia. And you need those 2 points, and then you got to get on a plane and go to Vegas, and you got to play Vegas, and you beat them last time, but Vegas is trying to shore some things up for the playoffs and get things ready. And then you have to go to Utah. Both of these are playoff teams. The idea that the Jets run the table, I think, comes to the end on Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
If they can, they'll have a chance, obviously, Thursday against San Jose on the 16th, if they get all 8 points here. Mm-hmm. But they got to win tonight. I will be very...
and they need help even leading into that game.
Yes, but they can only take care of themselves. I think Jets fans, disappointed as they are already with the season, I think if they don't get 2 points tonight, you have a very legitimate point to be disappointed.
Well,
but it's not going to be easy.
If they lose tonight, it's over. I mean, I know it's like we're talking about percentage points and they're like, what, 6.9% or something like that? I mean, it's zero.
I guess what I'm trying to say is...
St. Louis losing to Colorado made it almost mathematically impossible for them to make the playoffs.
I guess what I'm saying is the best thing you can hope for as a Jet fan right now when they have to run the table is to go into Monday with a shot with 4 points the next 2 games. If you go into Monday night in Vegas and have 4 points from St. Louis and Philly, that's the best Jets fans can hope for right now. Mm-hmm. If you do not get all 4 points in the next 2 games, Monday is kind of like just waiting for the hangman to come, right?
Yeah.
You're just...
Yeah.
I mean, name me a movie where you're sitting in the room and you hear him coming down the hall. That'll be Monday if you don't get all 4 points.
Insert your favorite slasher movie.
Yeah, or Western.
Yeah, Western, yeah. Ron texts the show. Hey, text the show 204-780-6868. What do you think about what we were just talking about? I mean, when does this become more possible in your mind? I mean, is it just one game at a time? Send us a text 204-780-6868 or any questions you have for us leading into these beyond pivotal final 5 games. This one from Ron says, I think playoffs or not, these last 3 weeks have me excited for next year. I think an injection of speed is the formula.
Well, so this is the thing, right? I know that some people want I can't even talk tank anymore. It's just so ridiculous. I'm sorry. To get your team to actually try and... I was listening to somebody 2 days... Christian O'Malley on the CJOB Sports Show, and he's like, right now, Vancouver, this isn't going to change, has a 0.5% to win the lottery. And then he broke down the rest of them and all that. And as he was saying that, I'm like, you know what? Like, to finish dead last in the NHL and still only have a 25% chance?
Yeah.
That's not a lot. I mean, it's the most, but it's not a lot.
No.
And so to tank to even have the 25%, like if you could tank and get 70%, then I get it. But to get 25%, so anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. But I that's my point of view and I don't want to take anything away. This is an exciting game tonight. I know it's kind of negative. This is an exciting game. You go in, you get 2 points, keep going. You're on your way. So I don't want to take anything away from tonight. But to me, I think by Monday, you'll have an indication of they got all 4 points. They need 3 games back to back. This is going to be tough, but they've given themselves a shot. If they only get 2 of the next 4 and go into Monday, I'm kind of like, eh.
Well, here's also another crazy scenario. What if Vancouver beats LA? What if Nashville beats Utah? I mean, Utah beats Nashville and Anaheim beats San Jose.
I mean,
And
that's
the Jets
great.
and the Jets win. I mean, it just opens the door a little bit more. This texter says
Utah's won
204
4 in a row.
Yeah, Utah's a good team.
The best case scenario on Tuesday in Utah is they're like, okay, we're going to give our goalie a rest here, and we're going to.
Yeah, we don't care. We want Winnipeg in the playoffs. That'd be nice if they
We
said
might
that.
give Dylan Gunther a night off. That's the best case.
Text the show 204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. This texter says the Blues have proven to be no joke at this time of year. They're healthy. They are healthy. They are very healthy.
They just went into Colorado and won on the weekend.
Torrey Krug, I think, is the only guy out of their lineup, and he's out. I don't think he's going to play again. They lost to them on Monday, but they beat them previous.
Yeah, on the weekend. Yeah.
They're healthy and have a solid group of forwards. The Blues would love nothing better than to end the Jets season. That is a great text message.
Yes, yeah.
Because you were absolutely right. What do you think that they're talking about right now in the locker room?
Yeah.
It's like, let's these guys still think that they have a chance.
We might not make the playoffs, but let's finish higher than the Jets.
Yeah, let's make sure that we definitely put the last nail in the coffin on these guys. I mean, that is a huge motivation. So there's urgency on both sides.
Here's your Manitoba Miracle Whip. Here's your Manitoba mayonnaise. That's what they want to do. They do. They don't like each other.
No, they don't. 204-780-6868. Text the show. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline. Open 24/7. 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. Pre-game show begins after live at 5. Puck drop after 7 o'clock right here on 680 CJOB. Let's take a break. Let's come back. We'll continue this conversation leading into the game tonight between the Blues and the Jets. Each game is sort of taken on it. It seems like it's all the same talking points, but the pressure keeps ramping, and we'll continue to discuss that when we come back after 12:30. But still to come on the show, I teased a couple of stats that I pulled on Macklin Celebrini and Connor McDavid based on that game yesterday. Some of that stuff might blow your mind, and also a GM. Well, he was a GM, then he was president of Hockey Ops. Anyways, he stepped down of a National Hockey League club. We'll get into that when we come back.
Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Well, we asked if there was any Sharks fans out there. Donovan texts the show and says, I got a Sharks fan friend, very annoying guy. I have to hear Macklin's name every day, getting tired of it, but I guess I'll just have to get used to it. Yeah, Donovan, you are. You're going to have to get used to it because he ain't going anywhere. He's a top talent in the NHL.
It's always interesting to me, the fans around Manitoba. Like, I know a ton of Miami Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
Like a ton in the province.
Yeah, I have family that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually get know quite a bit too.
And then there's always, like, I always enjoy, even when San Jose comes to town.
It's because of Ace Ventura.
There's like a Sharks jersey there. And I'm like, how'd you become that?
Ron Francis will step down as Seattle Kraken president at season's end. Francis was hired as the expansion franchise's first GM on July 18, 2019. Seattle made the NHL playoffs in its second season, upsetting defending champion Colorado in the first round before being eliminated by Dallas, and has not returned since. How do you feel about this move, Jim Toth?
Well, Seattle, again, I mean, I think Ron Francis is a really good hockey mind, but at his age, and maybe he doesn't want to go through what they need to go through there. Seattle, there's so many expectations on them after Vegas did what they did, but it was a totally different expansion.
Oh God, yeah. Seattle in so many ways got hosed.
Yes.
Because of how well Vegas got off, or how good they got off. Yeah.
So, but they got a bit of a rebuild there to do, and we talk about Jets not paying off. Shane Wright, Matty Beniers, all should be way better than they are, right? Like, Matty Beniers is supposed to be the next great center.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but so things haven't worked out there. So I can understand why he wants to move on.
Yeah, just no star talent. That's the big thing holding back Seattle. We'll be right back continuing this conversation and talking Celebrini. Got some wild stats about him and McDavid when we come back. Hour brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road, and at washmethod.com. VIP text will win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. Coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Boston Pizza for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jets, St. Louis. After Live at 5 here on 680 CJOB. Pregame show, puck drop at 7. After 7. Big game. They're all big games. Blah, 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 blah. Must win. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Hey, getting back to Ron Francis leaving Seattle.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this, obviously, when the offseason begins. And probably, unfortunately, have a lot of time to discuss
it's going to happen.
I think this is going to be a big summer because there's not a lot of free agents out there. There's not a lot of like high-end, big dollars to be spent. Mm. So that means I think some not lesser, but not A-grade players are going to make some money. But they just said, like their owner, I believe, or whoever is, so Jason Botterill, the GM, is still there, and he'll be doing this. But he said, we're going to take some big swings. We're going to fix this roster. The Jets, there's a couple other teams that the only way you can fix your roster this summer is trades. And I think there's going to be a lot of them. And we talked a little bit about the idea of Perfetti for Shane Wright and stuff throughout the course of the season. I don't think that happens now. I think they re-signed Perfetti. But I think the teams like Winnipeg, Seattle, all that, I think there's going to be some movement this summer. I think some teams are going to get aggressive and change parts of their team. And the only way to do that, basically, is via trade. I think it's going to be interesting that way.
Yeah, I think so, too. Robert texts the show, 204-780-6868. Robert says, definitely just one game at a time, and it starts with the Jets. They have to win. That's it. If they don't win, then it's season over. Season over. Have a good afternoon, Robert. Yeah, it's tough to poke holes in that. Frank says, as much as I want to see the Jets win out and actually get a playoff spot, it was that 12-game losing streak that just blew them out of the water.
11,
Funny.
yeah.
It was 11. Yeah, that's fine, Frank. Funny, since the Olympic break, our Jets are actually playing like they did last year. Go figure. Before you didn't even recognize the team. LOL. That one from Frank. Yeah, I mean, this is the conversation I keep having. And I will say this. My friends and my circle is more engaged with the Winnipeg Jets in this moment than they have been all season. At the end of the year, and that was sort of my fear, was that if they had cratered by the point this time, like through March and through April, we would be having so much different conversations right now. But I'm telling you, fans are more engaged now than they have been. And I will also say this. This is the Jets. I think this is the Jets. I think this is who they are. Yeah. It's how they've played since the break. This is a more, when you look at the roster, you look at the team, you look at everything involved. This is a heck of a lot more similar to who they actually are versus the disaster that happened, the unmitigated disaster, in the words of Kelly Moore, which I agree with at the beginning of the year, the first half of the season.
Yeah, he was the first one to use those words too.
Yeah,
so
I agree
to
with
Kelly.
I agree with that.
But look, Cam, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back at all here, but this was my evaluation of the team. They were not playing well. They were better than their record. And as the losses kept piling up, and especially during that 11-game losing streak and some of the fashions which they were losing it, I had some people very angry with me after games going, oh, you still think they're a good roster? You moron, you idiot, this and stuff, right?
It's
and
not
like,
funny, but it's, yeah.
You got to take it as funny.
Yeah,
I'll take it as humor, whatever. I don't care. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but they weren't as bad as the first 3 months. The things that they were, the fashion they were losing hockey games was due to poor play with the players they had. It wasn't due to, and that's what we've seen since the Olympic break and probably 8 or 9 games going into the Olympic break. They are what I think they are their last 20, which is 11-5-4. And then to the 11-game losing streak, to what that texter just said, 11 straight losses. Say you get 3 more points out of that. Look at the standings.
Yeah.
And those 11 straight losses, say you get 1 win. 2 more points right now would have the Jets with 82.
It makes this thing a lot more realistic.
It just, and in you don't lose 11 games in a season and not have it absolutely affect your outcome.
Well, just like how the Jets started the year before, right?
If you get 2 wins, 4 points in that 11 games, so you lose 9 games, but you win those other 2, you currently have 84 points tied with Nashville. It's just the 11 game, and I know like they went to overtime and lost or something like that, but
yeah.
So this is just who I think they are. Now, again, I do not think they're President Trophy winning team. I do not think the way they're constructed right now, they are a top 5 team in the National Hockey League. 2 years ago, they finished 4th. Last year, they finished 1st. I do not think they're that team anymore. Mm-hmm. But I think they're a 10 to 16 team in the National Hockey League, like probably 12 to 16, the way they're constructed. But if you can fix that, like if you can get a better year, and this is what I've already said, and we're going to talk about it more too. The Niederreiters and Nemestikovs, those are the biggest question marks I think you have. Yes, they need a second line center. That's where I think the deal comes in. Do you believe in Shane Wright? Do you think McTavish wants out of Anaheim? Whatever you do, and I'm just spitballing, Robert Thomas. If the Blues are totally rebuilding, do you have the equity to go get him?
Or does he have the will to say, I want out?
With a full no trade.
Yeah.
Like, is he going to say, of the 4 teams that want me, I'll go to Winnipeg? But that being said, that's the thing you do in a trade is you got to get that second line center. But to me, the biggest question, because I don't know what you do, is what Kevin Cheveldayoff, Craig Heisinger, Larry Simmons, and the rest of the brass feel about Niederreiter, Nemestikov. Was this a one-off? Do they still have some juice in the tank?
Or are these guys trade
chips? Are these guys where we go get a 3rd-round pick for Niederreiter, compile that into what will be a package for a second-line center, and we think that, at worst case, Brad Lambert will be... Now, Brad Lambert's not going to be in a checking third line, don't get me wrong, but if Brad Lambert can come into the top 6, which all indications are with another offseason...
The interesting thing, too, as well, about St. Louis and Winnipeg, and Kelly ran the numbers and he handed them off to me yesterday, is that these are the 2 best teams in the Western Conference since the Olympic break when it comes to a points percentage.
That's kind of what I thought they were.
Yeah.
Not the best.
Yeah.
Like when I look around the National Hockey League, they're not as good as Tampa Bay. They're not as good as Dallas or Colorado.
No.
But Minnesota? Like, look at the season Minnesota's having.
Everything's been going right for them.
Now, they went and got Quinn Hughes, so that's when I think the Minnesota Wild got a little bit better than the Jets. They went and acquired Quinn Hughes. But, you know, and people feel free to text, Jim, you're dreaming about Minnesota. Okay, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. They're a 12 to 16, maybe even 10 to 16. Are they as good as the Sabres?
Oh, the Jets, yes.
You think so? Because the Sabres have 104 points.
Well, I think the Jets are a team that, listen, if they wouldn't have shot themselves in the foot, I believe that this team has the capability. It didn't this year. It proved it. They have the capability to be 104. This team had to start the year easily had the capabilities to be 104, 106 point team.
Let me say this.
They shot themselves in the foot constantly.
Yes. Penguins have
they deserve to be where they are, but you can't argue that they're not that with the team that they have, there's no way that they didn't have that capability.
So let's look at playoff teams. I mean, the West is the West. We all know they're not as good as Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Are they as good as the Oilers? You bet they are. You bet they are. You think they're as good as the Oilers?
The Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Golden Knights.
I thought no at the beginning of the year, but as things have turned out, yes.
I think they're as good as the Anaheim Ducks. I think they're as good as the Ducks.
I think so too.
Utah, I like Utah. We said at the start of the year, Utah's making the playoffs this year. You and I both agreed on that.
I think the Jets are a better team than Utah.
Okay. Here's where I wonder. Montreal, 102 points. Are they as good as the Canadians?
You're opening a can of worms.
Cam just texted me. They are miles ahead of that lowly Canadians team.
I will tell you how I actually feel. And I'm going to give you the hottest take that I maybe have ever given on this show. I think the Winnipeg Jets, I don't care, put records aside, move on from all that crap. I don't care. The Winnipeg Jets are a better team than the Montreal Canadiens.
Sacre bleu!
They are.
Sacre bleu!
I don't care about where they're going. I don't care about Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, all great players, all that sort of stuff. I believe, pound for pound, the Winnipeg Jets are a better team than the Habs. I don't care. I don't want to talk about records. I don't talk, this season, no. I don't know. I think they're a better team.
Okay, before you lose your mind, let's carry on.
Gary says worst take of the year.
They're not as good as Tampa Bay, but
that's okay, Gary.
They're not as good as Carolina, I don't think.
No, Carolina's better than that.
But the Penguins, the Flyers,
yes,
the Bruins,
yes,
the Senators,
yes.
So that's what I think they are. And so for 3 months, I heard like when I'm trying to go as they get 9 losses in a row and 10 losses, I'm like, they're better than this. And people are vilifying me and stuff. That's fine. Like this is what I think they are.
Yeah.
And that's the question Cheveldayoff has. That's what he has to figure out of whether it's, that mushy middle. That I'll call it. We always talk about this in the mushy middle for teams. I'll say it with the mushy middle of the actual roster. What do you do with it going into next year? And a lot of the times, people are going to say that's an excuse for Chevy. A lot of the times his hands are tied. Like, are you better off with a 3rd-round pick, or are you better off with Nino Niederreiter? Are you better off with Vlad Domestikov, or are you better off with a 5th-round pick? Mm-hmm. Do you package Niederreiter and Perfetti and go get a second-line center with maybe a D and a pick?
Yeah, these are the big
And
decisions.
we'll do this in a week and a half from now. Or 2 weeks, you never know.
Yeah.
But there was a listener who emailed me. Remember I told you that? And he said that's his thing for the off season. But he around Christmas time emailed me and said, listen to the show, appreciate it. Here's a question for you. At the time they were at the bottom of the standings. If they get a top 3 pick, 1, 2, or 3, do they keep it or do they trade it?
That's a great question.
Because the first overall pick or the second could probably go get you Robert Thomas, if he's willing to come. I know that's always
but a player of that ilk. I know that you just keep mentioning that, and there's going to be people saying, well, it's a no trade.
Yeah.
A player of that ilk that they need to acquire.
So that's why I said
it's like
top
a guy like
3.
Mason McTavish. Like he's not protected by any sort of trade.
He's locked up, and if you believe in him, I bet you Anaheim would do that for say you can move up to 2. 3? I bet you Anaheim would do that.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see Anaheim have a very disappointing first round.
Yeah.
Where they get bounced in 5 games. All of a sudden, that's when GMs make mistakes.
And you want to see McTavish on the 4th line.
That's
what got Marco Rossi out of Minnesota.
That's when GMs make mistakes, is in those moments. When it's like, I think I just need one more thing to do this, or I need to fix this issue or this problem. And then they go out and they overspend to get what they believe that they want. That's when you can take advantage of stuff.
And tomorrow's Free for All Friday, so if St. Louis pumps them 7-1, I'm gonna hear about it like they're not good at all. But that to me is the biggest question. And even tonight, right? Like their top players are going to go at it tonight. So who's going to be the difference? Connor Hellebuck or the St. Louis goaltender? I don't know if it's Binnington or Hofer, but Hofer's playing really good right now. But it's going to be the mushy middle, right? Is going to win tonight's game.
This texter says, you two are delusional to say the Jets are better than the Habs. I'll say it again. I think they are.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but Cam is.
I'm going to say it. I'll say it. Just, you know what? I'll say
and
it.
Like a good marriage, even when you're wrong, I'll support you.
I'll say it even for fun. I might even say it just to tick off the Habs fans that are listening. I think the Jets are better than them.
What I'm hearing is the Canadians are junk. Did you not just say that?
You know what? The Habs, all they are is just flash. There's no substance.
Yeah.
They're a flash in the pan. And that Martin St. Louis guy, he shouldn't even have gotten the nod last year.
That Caulfield kid's been so lucky to the tune of 49.
None of them into the empty net.
You know what else is an interesting discussion?
It's all a fluke.
Cole Caulfield doesn't make the Olympic team in the U.S. Scheifele doesn't make it here. They're 2 hotter players right now.
Well, yeah.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I appreciate the discussion. Well, it's a big game tonight, and it's going to be the mushy middle. And I say that because I think that's going to be the difference in tonight's game, like the bottom 6 or the middle 6. And I think that's the biggest question I feel for Kevin Cheveldayoff. It's clear they need a second-line center. That's a no-brainer. But do you need another D-man in the 4th, 5th spot? Do you trust this 3rd line next year? Do you trust the second line has been another big reason they are where they are since the Olympic break.
Because they've been able to figure that out for the time being. Mr. Chance, get your thoughts, but I don't think Adam Lowry is a
no, that's why I say you still got to get the second line center.
Mr. Chance, get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. And in a perfect world too, Jim, you want Velarde with Scheifele and Connor too as well. I mean, Iafallo, yes. I love Iafallo. You need someone a little bit more dynamic there.
For two reasons.
And then on the second line, you find somebody else to play with Perfetti there on that second line, too.
Yeah, and for both reasons, because that is a dynamic top line with Vilardi, and that would mean that your second line is producing consistently.
We'll be right back. I got the crazy Macklin Celebrini and crazy McDavid stab. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Well, congratulations to Tom. He's our VIP texter winning that VIP car wash from my good friends at Washmat. Tom says, hot take.
Tom.
My truck needs a wash. He says, guys, just lost one game. Don't give up. I don't know what was wrong, but the whole team was passing the puck. Not too many passes hit the mark. So let's regroup and get on a heater. All right.
Andrew thinks I was gaslighting him.
Yeah.
Andrew likes to
Congratulations, Tom. You got yourself a VIP car wash. Yeah.
Andrew likes to watch those angry housewives shows where they scream at each other and yell gaslighting all the time.
Well, if you want to know the full text, Andrew says, Jim trying to gaslight us that he was right about the team. You were saying, stay with the vets. We're in the race. Meanwhile, it was then infusion of the young guys that should have happened sooner. That helped turn us around. I won't stand for the gaslighting, Jim. Have a good day, boys. Go Jets, go.
I was saying stay with the vets because there was nobody producing in the A. And if you can't produce in the A, you're not going to produce in the show. And the best chance to try and turn this around was with experienced guys who have produced before in the National Hockey League. Brad Lambert has 6 points in 20 games this year. He turned this around? Or did Adam Lowry playing with Gabe Vilardi and Cole Perfetti turn this around and provide a second line? Did Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor go on an out-of-the-world tear to the tune of 14 points in his last 7 games, turn this around? I don't believe Danny Zhilkin turned anything around. And I do not believe that... Who's the other one? Oh, Salamonson helped. I'll give him that. Salamonson came in and helped. But
Parker Ford.
Neil Pionk coming back in the lineup helped turn this around. But nobody of the young guys in the Moose coming in have physically turned this team around to the tune of 11-5-4 in their last 20. They have helped, but it's been the big guns and the veterans who have helped turn this around with better play and execution.
Connor McDavid
Thanks, Andrew.
moves past Mario Lemieux into second behind Wayne Gretzky for most points before turning 30. So now Connor McDavid passed Lemieux with 1,215 points in 791 games. Now, while still impressive for Connor McDavid, Mario Lemieux did it in 599. So McDavid needed almost 200 more games than Lemieux. So it's of note.
It is of note. He is sensational. I watched the couple periods last night. He had a power play goal and I think an assist. He was celebrating. He was outstanding.
He's second to only Wayne Gretzky, and Wayne Gretzky had an immaculate 2,072 points in 895 games. So McDavid's got about 100 games to beat Wayne Gretzky on that one, and he needs. Well, how old is McDavid now? Is he 29?
He's old.
He's really old. 29 years old. He's ancient.
But
yeah, he's 29.
So Daryl also said, "What about Taves turning this around?" Yeah, like since Christmas, he's better. And quickly, Andrew says, "How dare you call out my secret pleasure, Jim?"
Oh, Macklin Celebrini is now third all time for most points by a teenager. Also, only to Sidney Crosby and Wayne Gretzky now too. So there you go.
Yeah.
Jim Toth, take you all the way to 2 o'clock.
Game.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey Fortier, for producing the show. Pre-game 5, puck drop 7.
They don't get much bigger than this.
Bye.